I love it. I love it. Chill bump time. Great cutscene. Great pause. 2. I repeat, 2 scarabs. Best playable ending to a video game ever. I absolutely love it. I've got him in this corner and oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's real fair. Invincible. Yeah. Oh, great. Now I'm stuck. This is just wonderful. Oh, and of course.
The will of the gods.
Here we go. Oh, come on! I hate Halo 3. So, the question is, do I love or hate Mission 3, Tsavo Highway? Hello everybody, this is JP3 here, bringing you another entry in our Halo 3 legendary playthrough, love or hate themed. We're on mission number 3, Tsavo Highway. Now, if you remember, in the second panel in my intro, there's a line at the bottom that says, you know, no skips, no deaths, no reverts, and all that stuff. Well, by the skips button in parentheses, it says mostly. The reason why it says mostly is because of none other than Tsavo Highway. So we're obviously going to be covering that amongst other things with this mission. One of the big key components of Tsavo Highway is it's the first mission in Halo 3's campaign that outfits you with a Warthog. In the lore, a 3.25-ton Warthog that will, for the most part, be transporting a 1,000-pound Spartan, given, you know, the armor and all that stuff and such, and then, of course, 2 Marines, which you could argue maybe around, you know, 180 to 200 pounds, so about, you know, 1,500 pounds, which is, you know, a ton, what is that, a 3/4 of a ton, and then you get 3 points, so it's almost like 4 tons in this Warthog as we drive along here. But, you know, and it's certainly one of the things that jumped out right off the bat is, you know, this thing, it takes a little while to get it up to top speed, and top speed itself is quite slow. But if that were it, then maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal. But, you know, then you add on the fact that it's, you know, pretty light, bounces down around quite a bit, and then the damage resistance it offers relative to its Halo 2 counterpart. And a lot of this is kind of relative to the Halo 2 counterpart. Damage resistance is quite nil. Very, very small. So needless to say, we will not spend a whole lot of time during this vehicle mission in the actual vehicle itself. But, you know, let's get started with some of the walkthrough elements of this. When you're going through here with these snipers, now the Jackal snipers have been just exquisitely nerfed in Halo 3. They're still as accurate, they're still as lethal, but not nearly as reactive. Their reaction times have been brought down to, you know, semi-organic levels, if you will, but you still need to be, of course, very careful of them, so angle your Warthog in a way that does not allow the Jackal sniper to snipe you out of it quite as easily as it might otherwise would be able to. Hand the best of those 2 beam rifles, if you can, over to your Marine. Take out this sniper. Then when you get to this section, you need to watch out for the Brute, who's ready with the anti-vehicle fuel rod gun. Your sniper and or gunner will take them out quite readily, but when you get in the range for them to fire at him, the Brute, him can fire back at you. I usually like to get out of the Warthog and speed this up a little bit. We can't roll through here even with the Brute dead, because these little stationary turrets will rip you apart. Again, the damage resistance in the Warthog being very poor, not a good idea. Best to just get out of the vehicle and pretend like there isn't even one available, and, you know, shoot them with that other beam rifle. Now, what you want to do at this juncture is you want to pick up that fuel rod and hand it off to your Marine, and then take the, presumably and hopefully, the better of the 2 beam rifles and give it to yourself. And let's roll over into the next section where we will promptly again get out of the Warthog. Come up on this rock and get ready to shoot this Brute. The reason why we're shooting this Brute is because this Brute has a Brute shot. And the Brute shot, despite being a weapon that you can be hit with and not fly off across the map, or you can hit the brute with or grunt with and them not fly off across the map. If they hit the warthog with it, it's most likely going to bump it around quite a bit, maybe turn it over, and that's the last thing you want to have happen in an area where there are 4 additional jackal snipers that are actually going to be able to shoot you from a couple different directions at any given point. They can move around a little bit while on the bridge where we will find them. Best to snipe that guy if he gets out of the turret. That means that if we don't do that, we wait for the fuel rod to get him, then it might take quite some time. And yeah, there's usually a jackal sniper hanging out over there, but for some reason he is obscured, which is relatively rare. So we're just going to get this fuel rod here, replace the beam rifle with it for just a little bit. Now he's available and ready to kill us in one shot, but we're going to knock him out of the sniper tower, and our Marine gets in the driver's seat like a frickin' idiot and takes off with the warthog. But at least that strat worked. Got rid of that jackal there. So let's switch out and get the beam rifle, then get back in the warthog and punish her a little bit, and then hopefully she will get in the driver, or in the passenger seat rather, and remain there while we go up on this rock using its natural geometry to snipe that guy in relative cover. And then we're going to take out the other brute shot dude. I thought we got a headshot there. I was probably wrong. Don't know why they... Oh, God. Don't know why they had to add kick to a beam rifle. Kick exists in a weapon because of the small explosion that occurs whenever you fire a bullet. Not aware of any explosions that occur within the beam rifle. But anyway, we'll let it slide for now. Let's see if we can risk life and limb here. Oh, God. And hand off this fuel rod back to the Marine, because when they shoot it, it tracks. When I shoot it, it lists downward. Obviously, my overcorrection there when trying to shoot at that turret was quite much. Let's punish her a little bit more, because we won't need them later. You think I'm going to rely on these fools for the broken path, which is the section that everybody fears, including myself in Tsavo Highway? Absolutely not. And I'll explain that as we get closer to it. But as for now, we've got our setup. We've got fuel rod hog, and we're going to try to wipe out the remaining guys here. They're both firing at the same grunt with 2 weapons that will easily dispatch them. So I just get out to speed things up. Grab, of course, the best beam rifle of those 2, which I'm going to take into the next section and use quite a little bit. So the best way to take this section, in my experience, is to bull rush it with the warthog pretty fast here. Interestingly enough, you can usually get one of the choppers in one way, shape, or form with this strategy. Notice here how for some reason it kind of stopped and tried to come back. There's a chieftain over there with a fuel rod that you really need to be worried about. I kind of make a mistake here and don't just run right the hell over through that Marine, and it screws me up a little bit. But interestingly enough, despite all that weakness of the warthog, you can actually take a direct fuel rod blast. Same goes for the chopper as well, if you ever get in that scenario. But anyway, we're past the chieftain. Now we're going to come over this hill, which is, in my opinion, a pretty safe place. You have to kind of maybe watch for grenades from the grunts that are over there that we're shooting at right now. But for the most part, we're over here for safety to avoid the chopper. Again, we're in a vehicle. There's turrets, there's infantry that can throw grenades, and of course the chopper, the massively overpowered chopper. It is not only can destroy your vehicle with a direct hit from the front, but maybe even more scarily, its forward autocannons are massively, massively powerful. Massively more powerful than they ever should be. They will bounce this warthog around like it weighs, about 300 pounds. So get out after you're done with all the infantry that we saw die in the chopper, then snipe these guys. All 4, if they're all there, which they usually are. Snipe this guy. He will run you over and murder you, whether you're in the warthog or not, because of the chopper's aforementioned ability to slice you in half just by hitting it, and hitting you with it while you're in the warthog. And, as it turns out, Marines like to try to stay close to you, so it's best just to get rid of him so you don't end a run. I come over here to refill the BR, and I grab the grav lift. It's not essential to my strategy, and you'll find out a little bit later. I do hop it over the bridge that's upcoming, but again, not essential. Throw the grenade so it bounces and breaks that shield generator, and then come over here and try to let your fuel rod passenger and the gunner take these guys out in a big group. Usually you can get a killionaire there. For some reason, we do not. They just didn't group together quite the way that I would have wanted, but notice how they're easily dispatched before getting a chance to disperse. Come over here, replace the beam rifle that should be up here if you sniped a guy up here. And, you know, there could be some equipment that's floating there, which is stupid, but anyway, make sure you leave here with the grav lift if you really like to take the Warthog into the next section. So now we finally get to a highway, and we'll be on it for about 8 seconds or so before we have to get right back off of it and theoretically ditch the Warthog. We won't be ditching it, but again, not necessary to take it across here if you don't want to. And if you want it for other things, then of course this is how you would do it, as opposed to trying to wedge it through those Jersey barriers? Futuristic Jersey barriers? Is that what that is? Alright. So again, we're taking it over here mainly as a way to speed things up, because Master Chief walks very slow as well. I mean, the Warthog's slow, but Master Chief, the Spartan in the armor that could make him run about as fast as a, you know, mid-sized sedan, he's quite slow, nonetheless. You could use it as a bit of a backup strat to take care of enemies over here. It takes a little bit more time, and it feels like you're cheesing it, but you do save on some sniper rifle, beam rifle charge, but that's not really important unless you are really bad at shooting it, or you get bubble shields thrown up every single time you're trying to shoot somebody, which is entirely possible. So once you get tired of shooting people over here, just don't shoot any of the grunts that are back there attacking those Marines where we're supposed to go. Don't shoot those grunts. You'll thank me later. Bring the Warthog or Master Chief up here and finish off the brutes, including the brute with the fuel rod. One thing that I didn't do here that I usually do is I usually also try to finish off the jumpers, the brutes, and jetpacks. But again, not essential, as you'll see. It could be essential more so than I'm remembering, but I don't prioritize them here. And trust me, I would if I had a lot of experiences of them killing me with the strat I'm about to show you. So pick up a full, they're all full, pick up a full plasma pistol and bring that sniper with you and take this exact path, because we're not going to rely on the Marines. We're not going to hand off 2 fuel rods and back there before we get in this section to Marines and hope that they make it all the way to this area. We're not going to go and rush and get that fuel rod and try to hand it off to another Marine up here that may or may not still be alive, because the Marines may or may not be exploded or killed by one single grunt who throws a decently tossed plasma at them. And even if you get all 3 of them over here, there's no guarantee at all that they will actually shoot the Phantoms. It's entirely possible instead that they will shoot the brutes, and if that occurs, then you are quite screwed, because you just don't have enough firepower to deal with all those brutes, this incoming Wraith, and expect to survive without spending a lot of time not having fun. That is the key to this level's crappiness, is not enough firepower once you get to the quote-unquote broken path, this chapter, this section of the level. Instead of doing all that stuff, we're going to go ahead and take this Wraith, and we're going to come over here and either kill both of these brutes with it while they're on their choppers, or as I've liked to do, as I've started doing, is actually take one of the choppers, because the Wraith, I just can't get a good feel for it fast enough, like I can with the Halo 2 Wraith or the Halo Reach Wraith, which you may have seen me use. I know you saw me use the Halo Reach Wraith if you watched those videos. I think in at least, well, I think 3 videos actually. So anyway, 3 of the 9 levels in Halo Reach. So yeah, I just can't quite get the accuracy on it. And as you saw there, a chopper can take a direct hit from it. Brutes can take lots of splash damage. It's just, I know it's powerful, but it's just not worth it unless you're an expert with it. The chopper, on the other hand, is much more effective, as you'll see in a little bit, at least with my Wraith skills. So I'm going to try to save this chopper. If it comes over here, I'm going to overcharge it and board it. This guy is going to prevent me from doing that. I'm surprised he even showed up. That is not a normal thing. So let me snipe this guy and have a fresh chopper available whenever I want it. Pro tip, destroy that Wraith with the chopper, or it's possible, unbeknownst to me until this playthrough, that Marines may actually, like that guy did, make it out alive and come over here and get in it. I don't want to be blasted by a Wraith or have them miss 1,000 times and have the enemies dodge it and be unpredictable in terms of their dodging and such. Now this is the part that you don't have to do. I just do it because I don't want to skip everything. You can go right on to the next section and execute the strategy you'll see later on. I do this to try not to skip it, but unfortunately the way this level's set up is not quite as some big open world arena where you can have fun. What happens here, as opposed to in other Halos that I'm aware of, is that you can go less than a football field past this rock thing that's going to our right and up, this kind of hill, if you will. And what happens is that not only is it possible to despawn an entire dispatch of brutes from a phantom, but you also despawn 2 choppers in the next section and 2 stationary turrets. That is technically, therefore, a skip. It's an unintended skip in the sense that I don't agree that stuff should despawn like that. If stuff despawns like that, what that tells me is that the engine couldn't handle that many enemies at once for some reason. If that's the case, then I strongly advise that Bungie not put this many enemies into one section, especially when they don't give you the firepower to deal with it in the normal way. With a chopper, however, you do have the firepower to deal with it because it does unlimited ammunition, of course, and it's very, very powerful. So we're just going to angle it like this. We snipe the chieftains because they're the only ones that really present a threat here with their fuel rods. Of course, there was only one this time because, again, sometimes you can despawn a whole phantom full of brutes by just going past this hill here. Feel free to keep using the Marines with their fuel rods if you like, but I've, again, tried that strategy enough times to know that it is inconsistent. And if those Marines don't blow up the Phantoms, then you have a bunch on Legendary of brutes. Some with brute shots, some with carbines. They will kill you all. And, well, maybe not you if you hide from it at all. And then if that doesn't work, then the Wraith comes along, and it's just really nasty. Really nasty stuff. And I just never have been a big fan of relying on the friendly AI for any sort of strategy that could be inconsistent. My performance can be inconsistent, but not the performance of the AI without me balking at that strategy. So once you're done over there, I usually just stop whenever the Pelicans show up at this juncture. There might have been a brute hiding over there, so I just kill these guys just for fun, and then I'm taking off, baby. This is the worst section in the entire history of Halo, in my opinion. It's not the hardest, it's just the worst, because you are massively underpowered. You are expected to take a chain gun Warthog through here and somehow beat 3 Wraiths, I think 10 choppers, 3 Phantom drops, which their turrets will rip you apart, and then of course 2 stationary turrets. Instead, I like to try to go up this hill. Now, I am terrible at this, obviously. I practiced this and nailed this so many times before this playthrough. You go straight up the wall. You don't hit the rocks. You go straight up the wall, and then as soon as you get to that point past that first rock that's to the left there, you turn right and boost, and you'll do it every time. I fail at that and don't know why I'm still alive. If this would have been any other level, I would have restarted right then and there, but I hate this level so much that I did not care. You need to go all the way to that Warthog, or I swear to you, every time a magic mortar will blow your face off. Every time. So you have to go all the way up to that Warthog, then turn around and shoot this Wraith dead. I'm trying to aim for the gunner there, but somehow, some way, despite aiming for the gunner, I kill the driver first and blow up the Wraith, and the gunner still stays alive. I think I blew up the Wraith. I'm not really sure. I don't care. This is kind of the same thing here. Pretty self-explanatory. Just shoot the Wraith down. Now, at this part in the high ground, what I would typically have done is steal the Wraith and blow up all the choppers below and the oncoming Wraith and hope that the Phantoms didn't kill me. But yet again, we have another section where you go just a little bit up this road, and then all of a sudden, everything over there despawns. Technically, it's a skip, but I massively disagree with the way it's set up. Again, chain gun Warthog with hopefully a fuel rod guy against 3 Wraiths. I think it's 8 or 10 choppers. The Phantoms with their turrets, and then the 2 stationary turrets. It's not consistent. You can't be in a vehicle in Halo. I mean, again, we talked about the light Warthog, the slow Warthog, the slow to get going Warthog, the damage resistance or lack thereof. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work consistently. It simply doesn't. So the main threat in this area is a brute with a sniper rifle. I'm not really sure why I wasted time blowing up this Wraith. I think at the time I was just still in the back of my mind, kept thinking like, yeah, but what if the driver was still alive? Or the turret guy was still alive. I couldn't remember for sure, so I went back and destroyed it while I was waiting for these guys to get organized. And, you know, I couldn't find that sniper. He's the only real threat here. And so I don't know if I've ever been sniped out of the chopper, but I've certainly been sniped when I'm outside of the chopper. So I'm just trying to soften these guys up. I don't know, I don't know if the sniper shows up after you kill a number of these guys or what. So, you know, let's go ahead and get rid of the carbine dude there who nearly de-shielded us. And if we can just find the sniper, there he is. And I think we got a nice shot on him right there. And now that he's down, we're pretty much home free. Go grab this sniper rifle ammunition there, and then we're going to go pick up his beam rifle, replacing our, certainly at this point, probably very low charge beam rifle. And then we're going to pick up another sniper rifle drop that's right by that tower. Not really sure why it is, but it is. So we're going to... You don't have to do this. I mean, this is probably the easiest and cheesiest way to take out most or all these brutes, but the main reason we're doing bringing the chopper over there is to take out that turret. Now, if you're really awesome with the grenades, I think it takes just one sticky to maybe get the guy to come out, but I'm not 100% sure on Legendary if that destroys the stationary turret, so let's just take it out with the chopper, and then the rest of this is pretty self-explanatory. We're going to stand back here and snipe everybody down, and hopefully not miss too many shots. And once we've gotten to a point where we're pretty confident most of the brutes that are in support of a chieftain back there are dead, we're going to go for the chieftain. The chieftain is carrying a plasma cannon, or turret cannon thing, and so he's no threat at all from distance. He won't even fire it at you from distance. So there's some sneaky brutes here and there. You have to be really careful. I try to shoot this guy dead and this dude comes out, but that's fine. That's no big deal. We're just going to switch weapons there because, you know, the sniper rifle, again, has kick that it didn't have in Halo 1 and Halo 2 and won't have in Halo Reach. Alright, I think that's it for the support class of brutes. Oh, no, there's this guy hiding, so we'll just kill him pretty fast. And then now, I think all we have left is the chieftain, who we will dispatch of relatively quickly. Notice the, wow, we took that like a champ. Notice how we use the Pellegrin here for the high ground and for the natural cover. And once we're done with that, we will excel at platforming. No, we won't. We'll come over here and destroy this thing by bouncing a grenade off of it. What you shouldn't do with the other one when it's more important. The other shield generator back there in the mid part of the level. And once we get there, we are over and done with the level. I hate Tsavo Highway. I hate it about as much as any level I've ever hated before. And I hate very, very few of them, actually. Even of the ones that are less popular post-Bungie. This one, I really... a scalding white-hot hate for. I really hate how the best way to make things consistent in terms of going deathless is to go past everything, but more insulting is how it just spawns so much. If you disagree with how I feel about this level, please talk about it in the comments. I'm very respectful of you guys' opinions. Just like I said at the end of the Crow's Nest video, I respect opinions. I don't respect this level, though. But if you feel differently about it or have something to say, or if you just want to rant and validate my feelings about it, then feel free. Otherwise, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and hit that notifications bell so you know when things are fresh off the presses, hot off the assembly line and such. Also, hit the thumbs up if you like the video, and use the comment section if you have any questions or concerns about strategies and whatnot. But as for now, this is JP3 signing out. It will get much better from this point forward. The last half of this campaign is really spectacular, and the next 2 levels just don't trigger this kind of saltiness. But yes, signing out. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you very, 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 very much for watching. Goodbye.